everyone, my name is G. Aryan Reddy from 8th Hibiscus and I am going to explain the structure of the cell, followed by my friend Prisha who will explain the functions of the cell.
Far away in the universe, just on the planet Earth, a substance, also known as the building blocks of all the organisms.
Cell. What is a cell? Cells may be compared to bricks. Just as bricks are the building blocks of houses, cells are the building blocks of our lives. Of all the living organisms, they are so minute that they can only be seen with the help of a microscope. The cell is the smallest unit of life. In the living world, organisms differ from one another, but all are made up of cells. The different shapes of the cell are related to the specific functions. Generally, cells are round, spherical, or elongated. Some cells are spherical like red blood cells. Spindle shaped like muscle cells. Or long and branched like nerve cell, the part of the cell which gives them shape in the cell membrane. Can you tell me which one is the
Now let's start with the structure of the cell.
By merely looking at them. Don't worry, you can clearly distinguish which one is the plant cell and which one is the animal cell by just looking at it. If we travel from the outside of the cell to the inner core, the first difference we find is the presence and absence of the cell wall. We can clearly look that the cell wall is present in the plant cell whereas the cell wall in the animal cell is absent. It's due to this cell wall the plant cell has a well-defined shape whereas the animal cell does not have a well-defined shape. The next obvious difference is the presence and absence of the chloroplast. The chloroplast is present in the plant cell whereas it is absent in the animal cell. The third difference is the presence of vacuoles. In both the plant and animal cell, vacuoles are present. But in the plant cell, the size of the vacuole is much bigger in size compared to the animal cell. In the animal cell, vacuoles are scattered all throughout the cytoplasm. Whereas in the plant cell, as the vacuole is much bigger in size, it pushes the other organelles towards the periphery. Now let's go through the similarities. In all the cells, not only this animal cell and plant cell, there are 4 common features. These common features are cytoplasm, ribosome, nucleus, and the cell membrane. All the cells will have these 4 things: cytoplasm, ribosome, nucleus, and cell membrane. This was just the difference between plant and animal cells. That is not the way cells are classified. Then how do we classify the cells? Cells are broadly classified into 2 major types: prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Here are the 2 types we are referring to. This is a typical prokaryotic cell and this is a eukaryotic cell. Let us begin understanding the difference between the two. To begin with, the name prokaryotic helps us to know its structure. The term pro indicates primitive and the term karyon refers to kernel, which means nucleus in this case. So, do these cells have a primitive type of nucleus? Well, these cells do not actually have a proper well-defined nucleus. Can you see these thread-like structures in the cytoplasm? This is nothing but the genetic material named nucleoid. The nucleoid is analogous to the nucleus in our cells. It has strands of DNA, RNA, and it carries the genetic information of the cell. The only difference is that the nucleoid does not have a compact shape and mainly lacks a proper membrane. The next obvious difference is that the organelles are also not membrane bound. The means prokaryotic cell does not have a well defined membranes for the different organelles. On the other hand, The eukaryotic cells, which means cell with a true nucleus, has well defined membranes for nucleus as well as the other organelles. There are several other features, but we will not get into the details for now. Tell me one more thing. Doesn't this look like an animal cell? Yes, it does. This is because this is an animal cell. So, is an animal cell an example of eukaryotic cell? Yes, it is. Both plants and animal cells can be included in the category of eukaryotic cells. So, which cells will be in prokaryotic type? Cells of lower organisms like various bacteria. Now my friend Prisha will explain the functions of the cell.
You may have studied about the structure, but now let's study about the function. Let's zoom in. Oh, hello everyone. So I told you that today we were going to learn the functions of a cell. First, let me ask you a question. When I say the word cell, you think of something, a spherical object that performs many functions in our body. There are mainly two types of organisms, unicellular and multicellular organism. So let's first learn about the unicellular organism. The unicellular organism only contains one cell. The one cell of that organism must be able to perform all the functions necessary for life. These functions include metabolism, converting the eaten food into energy, homeostasis, meaning maintaining and sustaining or stabilizing the functions and conditions of the body, and mainly reproduction. And also some other functions are, specifically these single cells must transport materials, obtain and use energy, dispose of wastes or excrete, and continuously respond to their environment and has to stay alert. Unicellular organisms have finger-like projections called pseudopodia, which they use for catching prey. Now let's learn about multicellular organisms and their cell functions. A multicellular organism consists of millions and trillions of cells. Each cell has a specific task to perform, and 6 of them are considered very important. First one, it provides structure and support to the organism. Second one, it helps in reproduction. Third one, it helps the body to grow and excrete. Fourth, it helps the immunity to grow, and it also helps in communication and digestion. They also carry hereditary materials known as genes and also perform respiration and other processes in the body. So now let's learn about plant cells. One of the most important functions in plant cells are that they contain plastids. These plastids are of three types. The first one is chloroplast, which contains the green or the chlorophyll, which we see on the outer layer of the leaf. And then comes the chromoplast, which contains a color or a pigment which is later given to the fruits and flowers. The leaf of a plant is covered with a layer of plasma or cell membrane, which is again covered with a layer of cell wall. This cell wall is made up of dead cells, and it protects the leaf from any mechanical or osmotic stress. It also helps the plant in photosynthesis and to make or prepare the food by their own. Another function is that it helps to transport water and materials throughout the plant.